Chapter 2028. No flying allowed in the Demon King City. Zhang Yi smiled and asked, "Your parents, you're going to the royal city, so far away from home. If you don't tell them, they'll be worried, right?"
Ah,
Richie's face was full of confusion. What? Mom and Dad? What is that? He scratched his little head, looking confused. Zhang Yi was completely stunned. Did all the people in this world pop out from cracks in the rocks? Li Changgong added. They are the ones who gave birth to you and raised you. Where are they? It was as if Richie suddenly realized it at this moment. Oh, you mean them? They probably work in the village. Who knows what they do? Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows. You are so filial to me, Richie added, but it was the Holy Mercy Hospital that raised me. The aunts and uncles in the hospital were so kind to me. Zhang Yi was silent for a moment. Are you an orphan? What is an orphan? Zhang Yi even felt a little bit sorry for it. It was Li Changgong who said sharply, both their parents died, and they were sent to a place to be raised. The children there have no parents. Richie's eyes rolled around, and he suddenly realized, I understand. Two heroes. You must have come from another world, so you don't understand the situation here. In our country of Helen, there is no such thing as parents. He said something with confidence that almost drove Zhang Yi crazy. Richie continued, every baby born in Helen country will be sent to the Holy Mercy Institute for Unified Upbringing. They will be trained according to their talents and given different divisions of labor when they grow up. Adults will live together, and then the right people will be asked to have children. But the kingdom will not force anyone to have a partner. Instead, for the continuation of the kingdom, when you reach a certain age, you must find someone else to have children. They are not parents, they are just providers of seeds. The kingdom is responsible for nurturing the next generation. Only then did Zhang Yi realize that the social system of Helen country was completely different from that of the outside world. He was very curious and asked, don't people want to raise their own children? Most people don't want to because our society is used to this system. If someone really wants to raise a child, they can go to the Holy Mercy Home to work. But they are not allowed to know which one is their own child. So they treat all the next generation the same. Zhang Yi became even more curious. This social system actually sounded interesting. But what about people's assets? If you work hard all your life to earn property, but you don't have children to inherit it, won't it be confiscated by the state? Yes. Richie looked as if it was a matter of course. When people are alive, they can enjoy everything they have earned through their own labor. After death, these social resources will be collected by the state and redistributed to others. Isn't this the natural thing to do? If the rich and powerful continue to control resources and pass them on to their next generation, then the vast majority of ordinary people will no longer have a way to rise. This kind of thing is not allowed in our country. Zhang Yi fell into a long silence. He actually began to doubt whether this illusion was a fake world. Or is this an ideal country? I still find it strange. People are always selfish. Didn't you say there is a king here? The kingship should be passed down from generation to generation, right? Of course not. Richie looked at Zhang Yi with a strange expression, as if Zhang Yi had said something extremely treasonous. The king is the most talented person elected in the kingdom. After each king leaves office, a new king will be elected. Before these new kings take office, they need to undergo rigorous training and follow the old king for a period of time. Only after they pass the test and are confirmed to be capable enough can they take office. These are the prince and princess of the kingdom. Zhang Yi was speechless. In this case, doesn't it mean that the prince and princess may be older than the king? That's true. Richie nodded. Zhang Yi took a deep breath and suddenly found this world very interesting. The offspring are not the offspring of individuals, but of a collective. Therefore, everyone must take good care of everyone's descendants and, as a member of the collective, continue the glory of the collective. Also, because you don't need to worry about future generations and only need to think about how to be free or glorious in your own life, you can do things better. This system is very interesting. He became even more curious. Why did Mammon create such a world? With this thought in mind, Zhang Yi was very excited. The royal city was far away from here, but Zhang Yi used his ability and arrived there soon. This is a huge city standing on the plain. Its architectural style is somewhat similar to that of medieval Europe, as the buildings are all made of huge stones. The city is huge and bustling. From afar you can see vendors doing business and customers buying things on the streets. Didn't you say that the Demon King's army was going to invade? Why did I not feel the tension of wartime at all after watching for so long? Zhang Yi asked curiously. Richie spread his hands and said, "This is the center of the kingdom. The Demon King's army is far away from here. They are in the distant Demon Beast Mountains and in the dark swamps where dragons are entrenched. They will not affect the stability of the royal city for the time being." All right, Zhang Yi doesn't care about these now. He only cares about where Ling's human body is. And the closer he was to this place, the stronger his senses became. Sure enough, it's right here. Is it Mammon who led me here? This thought came to Zhang Yi's mind. After arriving at the royal city, Richie said to Zhang Yi, "My lord, flying without a license is not allowed in the royal city. Otherwise, you will be caught and punished by the royal city garrison. We have to go in through the main gate." When Zhang Yi saw the soldiers in steel armor on the city wall, he didn't want to cause any more trouble. Although he could use space travel to enter the city directly, he still obediently came to the city gate. As soon as he appeared, he attracted the attention of everyone around him. There is no way. Zhang Yi cannot put away the spear of Longinus now. Everything is done to ensure safety. It would be strange if this style didn't attract anyone's attention. Passers-by were whispering to each other, looking at Zhang Yi and the other two with strange eyes. Several soldiers guarding the city walked over with serious eyes. "Who are you? You are dressed so strangely. Are you merchants from other distant countries doing business here?" Chapter 2029, Symbol of Disaster. The soldiers guarding the city were quite polite and not as bossy as one might imagine. Richie stepped forward and shouted, "These two are heroes. They were sent by the goddess to defeat the devil. I saw them fall from the sky with my own eyes." When the people around heard these words, their eyes suddenly changed, and they looked at Zhang Yi and Li Chonggong with eager eyes. "Hero? Has another hero arrived? I know that whenever there is danger, there will always be a brave man who stands up and saves the world."
It was convenient for Zhang Yi.
He didn't have to say much. Richie helped him solve all the problems. However, it is not bad to acknowledge the identity of this hero. It is very convenient to enter the city and ask about Ling's human body. The soldiers guarding the city were in awe when they heard this. "Please wait a moment." He ran back quickly and came back with a man who looked like a general. This man was the general of the army defending the city. "Are you a hero? Where are you from?" The general asked carefully. "From another world." Zhang Yi spoke up. There was another round of exclamations around, and the general's eyes lit up, and he immediately said, "In that case, please take off the task list for conquering the Demon King with your own hands, and then come with me to meet the king." He stretched out his hand to point the direction for Zhang Yi. On the side of the city gate, there was a stone tablet with a list and some notices posted on it. The largest one in the center is the task list for conquering the Demon King. After 3 years, someone finally took down the challenge. Now Helen Country can finally have peace. Someone in the crowd said happily. Zhang Yi thought about it, then really walked over and took down the list. He decided to follow the plot of the story and find an opportunity to obtain Ling's human body. At least according to the plot, he didn't encounter any danger along the way. When Zhang Yi took down the list, cheers suddenly broke out around him. The general guarding the city immediately shouted at the top of his voice, "Report to the king immediately. A brave man has taken up the task of defeating the Demon King." Yes. Immediately, a soldier rode on a fast horse to report. Zhang Yi and the other two were also escorted into the city. Someone brought a luxurious carriage and invited Zhang Yi and the other two to sit in it. Richie was very excited. He had never ridden in such a nice carriage before, so he jumped right in. Zhang Yi and Li Changgong followed, but the huge spear of Longinus was still eye-catching, so Zhang Yi thought about it and put it away first. Otherwise, it would be difficult to enter the city, as the streets were not that wide. You just need to keep this second hand of time turned on at all times to avoid being suddenly attacked. The general guarding the city, Kazan, rode on a horse and led a team of soldiers to escort them to the royal city. Kazan said to Zhang Yi in a flattering manner, "The invasion of the Demon King's army has been going on for 3 years. There have been constant conflicts in the Monster Mountain range, countless soldiers have died in battle, and the people have been displaced. We are all waiting for your arrival." Zhang Yi leaned against the window, looking at him with amusement. "But what if the hero doesn't show up? We can't wait for the hero to save us every time the devil comes, right?" Kazan heard this and shook his head. "No, a brave man will definitely appear. History has proven that this is an iron rule. Whenever the kingdom is in danger, a brave man will appear." At this point, he suddenly smiled and said, "Maybe it was someone who came here from the outside world. But if there were no outsiders, Helen Country would also have its own heroes. In our country, no talent will be wasted. Anyone with talent will be promoted and appointed. The brave among the people are also brave." Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows and did not continue the topic, but was thinking, what kind of world is this? The royal city was very prosperous, and out of curiosity, people came to see what this strange and eccentric hero looked like. However, Zhang Yi did not take off his helmet. He looked like a man wearing black and red armor, as powerful and terrifying as a hellhound. Instead, Li Changgong leaned against the carriage, enjoying the gazes of the young girls around him. Young girls always admire heroes. Many girls in the crowd who were just beginning to fall in love looked at them in the carriage with blushing faces. As the carriage moved forward, Zhang Yi could clearly feel that Ling's human body was getting closer to him. Finally, when they arrived in front of a fairly tall building, Zhang Yi's eyes suddenly widened. He saw a huge white statue standing in the square in front of the building, half of its body completely sunken into the ground. That look is clearly Ling. The scene of Ling transforming into a sword knight and fighting Mammon has always remained in his mind and has never disappeared. He finally found Ling's human body. Zhang Yi couldn't suppress his inner excitement. He moved his fingers but didn't go over to take it. Instead, he looked at General Kazan and asked, "What is this thing? Why is it stuck in the ground, causing the entire square to crack?" Hearing this, General Kazan looked at Ling's human body helplessly and said, 3 years ago, this strange statue suddenly fell from the sky and smashed heavily on the central square of the kingdom. No matter what we do, we can't pull it out. We can only let it stay there. It seems that from that time on, a powerful demon king named Senger was born among the monsters and began to attack the border of the kingdom of Helen. Kazan sighed. This is a symbol of disaster. The corners of Zhang Yi's mouth raised up in an imperceptible arc. Isn't it? Ling is a huge disaster for Mammon. Li Changgong did not recognize Ling. He had never been to Tianyu Palace, so he just took a curious look at Ling's human body and lost interest. Zhang Yi suddenly said loudly, "Since I am a brave man, I came here to help the people here live in peace. This statue is an ominous sign. I absolutely cannot leave it. Now, I will help you solve this trouble." As he said this, he jumped off the carriage and walked towards Ling's human body. There was an unstoppable flame of excitement dancing in his eyes. After getting Ling's human body, he left this broken place immediately. He didn't have time to play house games with the people in this virtual world. Zhang Yi walked towards Ling's human body and raised his hand to open the dimensional door. The dimensional door was invisible and could not be seen by others. He mobilized his power and began to take this human body into his dimensional gate. Boom! The square began to shake violently. Seeing this, the surrounding soldiers hurried to steady themselves. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.